Are you serious? Are you serious, guys? What is going on now in Russia? Russia with love. What about all the gold? Well, I'm going to tell you about that in just a second. And Assad, President Bashir al-Assad. But first, speaking of gold, let's put a shout out for gold as it relates to PastorPaulGold.com. That's right, www.PastorPaulGold.com, or call them at 877-646-5347. As we step into this 2025 new year, one thing is clear: the de-dollarization is not stopping. It's accelerating. China and other BRIC nations are scared of President Donald Trump, and it's making them more determined to reduce their dependence on the U.S. dollar and establish themselves as gold and global economic superpowers. Their secret weapon is gold. Gold, a biblical currency. In fact, China resumed buying more gold than ever before. And you know what's even more telling? They are underreporting how much gold they're buying. Doesn't that make you wonder why? Well, you can recognize its global value and the ability to withstand economic shock. Gold is a global asset with innate value. It's tangible, reliable, immune to economic manipulation, and China and other BRIC countries want to be prepared. They just don't want anyone to know it. That's why I'm going to recommend you go to www.PastorPaulGold.com. That's www.PastorPaulGold.com, or call them at 877-646-5347. And if you roll over your 401k or set up a gold or silver IRA, let me tell you what Colin Plume is doing. He'll give you 10 1-ounce silver coins of the silver American Eagle coin. All right? He'll give you 10 of these, 1 ounces each, for free. So check it out. And when speaking of gold, all the gold that was in Syria is in a bank in the middle of Moscow in Vladimir Putin's name. I mean, that's kind of what's going on here, guys. And now, let me tell you what's happened. Former president and leader for 20 years and his father for 30 years, Bashir al-Assad, has just found out something that's not good at all. He has just was poisoned on Sunday night. We're getting information coming out of Moscow that the rumors that his wife, Assad's wife, Asma Assad, wants to get out of the country. She's originally from the United Kingdom. She's a British citizen who wants to go back to London and get out of Russia, and really to get away from Assad, because she's starting, I think, to realize just how brutal and just how wicked, and that the mass graves are finding everything else. I don't know. She knows the gig is up. She's trying to get out of there, but the UK has told her no. They said, your passport is expired. That's okay. But here's what we got. Here's what's going on. Sunday night, and it might have been even earlier than that, but we're getting the information now coming out of Moscow today that the exiled former president of Syria, Bashir al-Assad, was poisoned in an assassination attempt on his life, which left him struggling to breathe. According to the news and the rumors, of course, but this is really, I have confirmation it is true, that President Assad was poisoned in Russia on Sunday evening, and was left struggling for his life, trying to breathe. The toppled Syrian tyrant has been under Vladimir Putin's protection in Moscow since December the 8th, for just about a month. Now remember, when he came to Russia, when he fled Syria, he took with him $130 billion in gold. $130 billion in gold. And Russia let him come to Russia. Now, reports are saying, according to one of the top former Russian spies, that Assad, who's 59 years old, was made an immediate medical call for help after he began to eat his Sunday evening dinner. He began to choke and cough and violently choke, falling to the floor and struggling to breathe. There was every reason to believe this was an absolute assassination attempt on his life. Assad was said to have been treated. Medical doctors were called. His condition was very serious, but has since stabilized, and he is alive. They ran toxicology and tests on him, and it showed that he had been poisoned and that there was definite poison in his system. Now, exactly what kind of poison, I don't know. But also, President Assad's wife, Asma, was trying to leave him. She wants to divorce him, they say, but she attempted to leave, contacting the UK embassy there in Moscow, and wanted to flee back, now leave him there in Russia, and she wanted to go to London. She's 49 years old. She was born in London, but her passport has expired, which, come on, these are, if you wanted to take her, if England wanted to take her back, they would just take her back. She didn't have to have a passport. They can take care of that when she got home. They don't want you back. That's the deal. London doesn't want to be known as harboring the wife of the former tyrant and dictator of Syria. They don't want, especially, she won't be bringing any gold with her, okay? And so their excuse they gave was, well, your passport is expired. Now, Asma is trying to leave her husband, Bashar al-Assad, and right now she's living in some exiled palace, some location there in Moscow. They fled Syria after 20 years in power, whenever the rebels from Turkey came marching through and taking over the nation of Syria. They fled in a matter of days, but they were able to get $130 billion worth of gold on a ship, which made it to Russia. Now, the Russian President Vladimir Putin, who is a friend of the family of Assad and has been for many years, and really propped him up and saved him during the Arab Spring of Obama's Arab Spring of 2011. Assad would have been taken out by ISIS at that point had Putin not intervened and with his Russian military and protected, built a hedge around and protected Assad. Putin let the rest of the country fall into absolute chaos and murder and executions and slaughters and atrocities that ISIS was performing. And then it was President Trump and Obama let it go on too, because actually Obama's the one that brought the chaos to the world in 2011 with his Arab Spring, along with Hillary Clinton. We know this, okay? And they even had help from their buddy down there in Egypt, former head of the Muslim Brotherhood, Mohammed Mursi. I don't think he was the head of the Muslim Brotherhood, but he was definitely a high member of the Muslim Brotherhood. And a Mohammed Mursi, who became, after Obama and Hillary said that Hosni Mubarak, the 32-year president of Egypt, had to go, and they overthrew him in 18 days. And I covered all of this in January of 2011. Then it was a sham election in which Mohammed Mursi was elected. And he, of course, personal friends with Bill and Hillary Clinton. I've covered this before. Well, he gets voted in somehow in some kind of election, some kind of snap election, and he takes over the country and immediately cancels the Constitution in Egypt. He fires the entire parliament, and he cancels all the 70 governors of Egypt. And he rewrites the Constitution of Egypt, in which he wanted it to be under Sharia law. Now, all of this has been documented, and I've already covered this before, but some of you need to hear this background. So this is how Obama and Clinton, at that time Hillary Clinton was the Secretary of State. This is how Obama and Clinton took the president of Tunisia out, Ben Ali. They overthrew him. He was president for 23 years. They threw him out and created chaos in Tunisia. Then they overthrew Hosni Mubarak of Egypt after 32 years, creating chaos, and Sharia law was being implemented in the 1-year reign of Mohammed Morsi in Egypt. Then they overthrew Muammar Gaddafi of Libya, who ruled for 42 years, and they took $50 billion worth of gold, the United States did, from the Libyan bank vaults and took that to America. We still don't know where that 50 billion went. If that's in I don't know where it's at. Okay, I won't speculate. But anyway, we got our hands on that. And then, of course, we've seen Obama and Hillary Clinton, overthrew the president of Yemen, and that destabilized that country. And that's why today the Houthis are running around free to do whatever they want and fire missiles at Israel. And then, of course, after they overthrew those 4 leaders in what they called the Arab Spring of Democracy, they tried to overthrow Bahrain, they tried to overthrow Kuwait, but they failed there because there was too many Sunni rebels, or too many Sunni Muslims there that you couldn't overtake them. They did bring more destabilization back to Iraq. They supported the Taliban in Afghanistan, but then they turned around and they tried to overthrow Syria. They brought it into total chaos. It was Russia. It was Vladimir Putin who stepped up and saved Assad, but really Syria was left twisted in the wind. It wasn't until Donald Trump came into office that he crushed ISIS and at least ended the brutality and the executions and the jihadi brides and all the murderous stuff that ISIS was doing. And that was done by Putin and the U.S. military. But now, by Trump and the U.S. military. But today, Assad is overthrown. He is in Moscow, and his wife wants to leave, but the UK government is saying no. And then meanwhile, Assad was poisoned. He was poisoned. He was choking. He was coughing violently. He was falling. He fell to the floor. He was in violent poison, but he did not die. He has not died. It was an assassination attempt on him, but he has survived. Apparently, he only took 1 bite from the food. Had he taken a second or third one, that probably would have been over. So, but that's kind of Russia with love. I mean, isn't that kind of what happens over there? I mean, how many times has Putin and his KGB buddies, how many times have they poisoned leaders or ex-leaders? How many assassinations have they done under his rule? And what makes you think that they wouldn't do that to Assad? I actually knew this was going to happen. I actually said, I wonder if Assad will last 6 months. I thought he would at least last 30 days. Well, he's still alive. His wife's trying to get out of the country. He probably don't know what to do now. He knows now he don't know who to trust. And it's I don't think he's going to make it. I don't see how he's going to make it. I mean, look, if the opposition leader, Navalny, was poisoned to death and killed and starved to death and then finally put in Siberian prison where he supposedly died of a heart attack after being froze to death outside in Siberia winter, he's dead. And then if after a couple other Russian generals were poisoned and they died, and the former Russian ambassador to the United States died of a heart attack unexpectedly in the United States in the Russian embassy in the U.S. And then we had the guy who tried to raise a coup, the General Prigozhin, who tried to overthrow Putin and then backed out and said, "I'm sorry." His plane crashed unexpectedly. Look, there's a lot of things going on here, guys. And so Assad might have bought himself some freedom with that $130 billion of Syrian gold that's now in a bank in Moscow in Vladimir Putin's name. But it don't look like it's bought his life. And so we're going to keep an eye on what's going on here, guys, and what this has big ramifications, because guess why? Israel's still being attacked by who? The Houthis out of Yemen. They're still being threatened by the ISIS and the jihadis and the Islamic Jihad out of Gaza, and out of Hamas out of Gaza, and out of Hezbollah, southern Lebanon, and out of the Houthis out of Yemen, and out of the radical Syrian rebels that are left over. And then Israel had to go in and take possession of a bigger amount of the Golan Heights, broadening the buffer zone, even taking Mount Hermon over. I mean, it's really interesting what's going to happen now. And the Iranians are still breathing down Israel's neck. We don't know what's going to be the next play. But Assad was poisoned in Moscow, but has survived the poisoning attempt, an assassination attempt on his life. And that doesn't shock me. Let me just see. Let's go to my 25 points, apocalyptic points to look for in 2025. I think I had that there would be assassination leaders, and I'm almost positive for sure. I know I did. I know I've talked about that. Here we go. 25 points to look for in 2025. Let's see which one it is. Murder rates. Oh, here it is. Number 21 of the 25 apocalyptic points to look for in 2025. And we did this show on the 28th of December, okay, on Sunday night. We did it on December of Sunday night. And then apparently in the early morning hours of Monday morning that Assad was poisoned. I had number 21 was a world leader or former leader will be assassinated. A world leader or former leader will be assassinated. And Assad almost became that first leader or former leader to be assassinated. That is number 21 on the 25 apocalyptic points to look for. Number 19, murder rates will soar in America. That's already off to a start this early in the year. Already we're seeing apocalyptic points in play already, and it's only January the 2nd. Are you serious? Are you serious? Give your life to Jesus Christ, guys. Give your life to Jesus Christ. So we're going to have a great broadcast tonight. Starts at 9 p.m. Eastern with Mike from around the world. It's huge. Tonight will be epic. It will be huge with what happened in Las Vegas, what happened in New Orleans, what Assad being poisoned, more threats on the U.S. Capitol. And really, when we asked Mike, MK Ultra, when we asked Mike about this overall plan, what is all this about? Is this because of the inauguration that's coming up? And what does this all mean? And who's all involved in this? We know this guy, this was a Green Beret that was living in Colorado Springs, who did the Cybertruck explosion over there in Vegas. The Tesla Cybertruck explosion sitting in the front door of the Trump Tower Hotel in Vegas. We know his MO is one thing, but then we have the guy over in New Orleans who was also a military guy, but who was also involved, a radical Islamist with an ISIS flag in his truck when he was killing these innocent people. 15 dead, 35 injured in that one. In Vegas, 1 dead, 7 injured in that one. Clearly, and both of them rented cars from the same agency. Strange. Is this all part of a bigger conglomeration to take down this nation? Are you serious? Give your life to Jesus Christ. And guys, thank you so much. Get the year started right. Your donation love gifts. This is a perfect day to start, make your tithing commitment, the first fruits. It's called the first fruits. Let's do the first fruits offering to start the new year and get started in the right direction. Make that commitment to be a faithful partner in 2025 with us. I believe tonight we're going to receive people stepping up to the plate and receiving the information we bring. But the most important thing that we want to share with everyone is that Jesus Christ is coming soon. This is what it's all about. All of these things we talk about and that we have been talking about with you and sharing these news breaks and information is all about actually the prophecies of the Bible coming to pass. This is about getting people saved, getting people to see that we're in the last days and that the events unfolding, there's a beast rising, a new kingdom, a new world order with a one world leader and a one world religious leader at his side and a one world currency and a one world religion and a beast 666, a mark of the beast system that's coming, guys. All of this is to tear down these governmental structures of the world, to bring the world to its knees and to accept the rising of the beast. And that's why my book, Revelation 9:11, is so important to read. And the Bible is the truth, the only truth. Let God's word be true and every man a liar. And get right with God. We're running out of time. I will be live tonight at 9 p.m. with an epic broadcast with Mike from around the world. 9 p.m. Eastern. Go Irish against Georgia. But I love all of you Georgia people. I love you all.